Transition us into our tribe talk. If you haven't been with us for any length of time, I know we have a couple of new guests this morning. Our tribe talk is a portion of the service each week where we take a moment to hear from a member of our tribe. We believe that as we are reading in communion together in the Word of God, and we have a reading plan that some of us are working our way through, that God really speaks through us as we read His Word collectively. That the Word of God was always meant to be read in community. And so we give a portion of our service, 3 minutes long, every Sunday to hear from a member of our tribe. And this Sunday is special to me because the person who's sharing is incredibly special to me. And so I want to invite Lara up to share with us the tribe talk this morning. Can you give her a hand? Because if you don't give her a hand, I'm going to just charge. So you know the deal. 3 minutes. And Curtis, you can let this one run a little bit. Yeah, just let it go. No? Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Hello to everyone I haven't had the pleasure of meeting yet. I'm Lara, and although I talk to people all day, every day for my job, public speaking is not my forte, so I'll probably be reading from my notes. But this week's reading was mostly from the book of John, which if you were reading along, you know it's chock full of good material. You could literally preach a sermon on any one chapter. Some of the big topics were Jesus preaching, he heals a blind man, he raises Lazarus from the dead, he fulfills multiple prophecies, his betrayal, his arrest, Peter's denial, the crucifixion, and the resurrection. So basically everything happens in these passages. They're very familiar to me, but as I was reading through, I kept becoming aware of how much people were doubting Jesus. Particularly the Pharisees, but even the people that were walking the most closely with Jesus still had their moments of doubt. People that saw him perform miracles and fulfill prophecies. Jesus knew that this doubt would happen, and even in his verbiage to them, he shows that. Statements like, "I tell you these things before they happen, so when they happen, you will believe." And hindsight is 20/20. It's easy for us to look back and see how foolish they were to ever doubt that Jesus was the Son of God. But it got me to thinking how we still do that even today. How often has God spoken something directly to our hearts, or provided a need, or answered an intimate prayer, and in that moment, he revealed himself to you, and you say, "Oh, that was God." But then maybe later you start to doubt that it was really him. Maybe you think it was just a coincidence, or you were just being emotional. It's interesting how 2,000 years later, humanity really hasn't changed a whole lot. But the good thing is that God hasn't changed either. The same God from the Bible that performed all these miracles and rose from the dead is the same God that does answer your prayers, and that's speaking to you and revealing himself to you on a daily basis. He wants to continue revealing himself to us. Luckily, we do have the Bible, so we can learn from our mistakes, so we can look back and grow and do our best not to doubt God, but to discover him even more. I told you I'm short-winded.
Okay, can you hear me? Let's give her another round of applause because she's beautiful. How many of you guys are thankful that God still speaks today? I know exactly what you're talking about. There's moments where you're so sure it's God, and then a couple weeks go by and you're like, that was God, right? Yeah. And one of the things I love talking about last year was the idea when we looked at the life of John the Baptist, when even John the Baptist, who his whole mission was to proclaim the way for Jesus, he ends up and finds himself in prison, and he begins to have those moments, where he's like, are you the one? Are you the one that we were waiting for? So, if that's you today, just be encouraged that that is God speaking to your heart, and continue to latch onto those things. It's important.